Right, this one's working. Okay, why is this one doing red? This one says blue.
Two red flashing and two doing nothing.
And this is blue. I love you. Thank you. I'm gonna open it later when I have like processing time. Thank you. Yes. Congratulations. Wow.
Yeah. Okay, great. Throw it at Joel. I don't know.
Now that's not.
No, I have it facing me.
Facing you.
Yeah. I had them charging for like 3 hours.
I don't know.
That one's on.
Okay. Now it went red. It was blue and now it's red flashing. So how much?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go in because I'm the least. Oh, okay. Sure. Oh, There you go. Perfect. Yeah. How have you not met her? I don't know. How we finding more chairs?
More chairs.
They're still dead.
What are they charging?
The laptop charger. But like these don't. It charges a this.
Oh, really? What's this?
That's where they charge down
Honey,
there.
can you put this in the window?
Are you sure you're not supposed to remove that? Absolutely. Vincent.
What happened?
He's a man.
What did he do?
He
Wait.
never undid the charging thing. There was like a cover on the thing. Hi.
So then just give them like 2 seconds.
Okay, well, come in. Where's the other ones? You gotta remove
He
them.
was holding chair. Holy cow. Well, this is the most people we've ever had in this place. That's right. Where have you all been on Witchy Wednesday? He's trying. Where have you been in the tarot place? So, Vinny, I just just need you to also make the camera straight. It's like,
Okay.
it looks like you need a V8. It's still like angled here, like that. The actual like itself has to be more.
Thank you.
That's good. Maybe down a little bit. That's good. Wait, maybe move it this way a little.
Yeah.
Or just move it. Yeah.
Does it
Yeah.
look like that? No.
Yeah. Like more.
I'm hitting cups. Hold on.
You're good.
Yeah.
Stay here and turn around and take a nice photo of Dina and Amalia before they get started with the
More?
That's a little bit more this way.
Okay, hold on.
Cups, 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 cups.
Stay. You and Amalia, the front of the desk. Move the chairs up.
I think it actually needs to be like
Here. Oh, okay. Yeah, shove these all back there, just like push them.
yeah.
I get it.
I'm just looking where the chairs are because I'm assuming we need to be in the middle of the chairs.
I made them move them, Allie. They're gonna move them back.
Oh, okay.
Right where they're standing.
This is like the middle of the desk.
Okay.
Is that good?
Smile this direction.
Yeah?
Mom.
Your mom coming?
Yeah, but I think she's nervous and she didn't probably get the memo of what exactly was happening. She probably thinks it's just a party. It's okay, don't worry. So she'll come in the middle of it and be very embarrassed.
Just for now.
And then she's like, what the heck?
Got it. We might just
So-
have to project a
So
little.
no, okay, so the microphones were manned, meaning,
There was a peel off part that I didn't see.
so they're not
They're
charged.
not charged.
Because fitting, that's okay. But my question is, are you gonna monitor the live
Yeah.
so if there's
I
questions?
can monitor it from here.
Okay, can I introduce
Yeah,
you?
oh, you may.
I'm very, very honored and so love delighted. So thank you all for being
yeah,
here.
are we
Already
live?
getting emotional and choked up. I am. I'm so like I cannot
Give
be
a
more
clap.
proud. I cannot be more proud. Dina. So Dina worked on this for the first 2 years without saying a word to me. She's like, so I kind of did a thing. I'm like, wait, what? She's like, yeah, so we're doing this deck, and I think I'm gonna get it published. And I'm like, wow. Yes, you should. And she's like, so funny story that you guys will get to about how she met the artist. They'll share that. And I go, oh, okay. And then she goes, yeah, so, I'm just going to talk to this publisher because that's the one I want to work with. Not this one or this one, but I'm just going to put it. So then they're like, oh, okay. We'll send it over. The following Friday, she had a contract. Wow. That did not happen. And today, which is the official release of this, mind you, we've already sold hundreds of copies directly, but Amazon just listed this as the top new release.
I'm happy that we are top.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm so delighted for you. Congratulations. And I turn it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was trying to look at her very first text message, but I might have had a phone in between.
Oh.
The first, like it has been so long that we've been doing this that I had another phone as my phone. Like there was an upgrade. So I was trying to find the very first message that we were texting, and I could only go back to 2022.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's around that time that we first met each other.
But so what I did do though was I looked at like other things that I had, and I want to say it was really like the beginning of 2022 when you walked into the shop.
Yeah. And do you know what happened? How that happened?
I don't know why you walked into the shop. By the way, this is what I do to me. Is I just start talking and I give nobody any context that I am Dina Rosenberg.
Yes.
And this is Amalia Drews, and we are the creators of Crystal Keys Tower.
Yes.
And we are releasing it today, as Danielle said. She is my partner in Amityville Apothecary and in pretty much everything except my marriage. My husband is back there. So no. Tell So here we are.
Here we are.
And and Amalia's like, how are we doing? Because Amalia wanted to know what was going to happen. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. But we're going to get in the room and we're going to talk.
Yeah, we love talking.
That's it.
We have no problems there. So basically, during the pandemic, which, 2022, we're still maybe wearing masks. We're just starting to get back into the world. And my mom and I had this tradition where every Friday we would go out and I would go to a coffee shop and I'd try a new mocha latte. That was the thing. We would go to a different coffee shop. We had to entertain ourselves, and that was the way that we would do it. And one day we see this, place in Amityville. My mom goes, "Have you been to this Amityville apothecary?" I was like, "No, we gotta go." We go in with this beautiful, the whole room is shining and inviting. Everyone's so nice. We go in the back. We're taking pictures with the amethyst. It's a beautiful experience. And when I get up to the front desk, I say, "Here's my business card. If you need any work, let me know." And the front desk person, I think is here today, said, "She's right in the back. Why don't you go talk to the owner?" I go in the back. I say, "I'm just letting you know I'm an artist. Here's my business card if you want to work together." She goes, "Oh my God, I've been waiting for an artist to come. I've had this idea." And my business card at the time, which, my business card changes just like phones do. I hand her a card that has an owl on it. And Dina goes, shoo, raises her sleeve.
Wait, where is it? Here it is.
Owl. And we just had this moment of auspicious serendipity. Something was happening in that moment. And she said, "Let's talk. Let's go get some coffee." And from there, a beautiful collaborative relationship started.
Wow. Yeah. And, it's so funny because if you're in the room, maybe, you know Amalia or the shop. I see a lot of familiar faces, people that are in our tarot community that are, members of the metaphysical community. But we're always like, is that a sign? I don't know, is that a sign? And the universe is like, yes, it is. I don't know, I'm not sure. Is it really a sign? And so so before Amalia walked into the shop, and if you've listened to me talk about this, and if I'm repeating myself, just bear with me. I got my first tarot deck in 1995, which means that I've had tarot in my life for over 30 years, which is horrible to admit out loud. And what was frustrating, a couple of years into co-owning a shop where we sell tons of tarot, is not feeling like I was confident to just read off book. When you're a singer, you go off book. When you're a musician, you go off book. And when you're an actor, you go off script. And I was like, why can't I get off this damn book? And, there's very many reasons for that. And probably because I didn't have the correct tarot deck that connected with me, obviously, because it had to be created. But I didn't know that yet. And I was in the shower, and I'm not entirely certain at the time of this divine revelation if I was washing my own hair at that time, because I no longer wash my own hair. I'm of that age now. But what's interesting is that even though I don't wash my own hair, I do take excessively long showers. Okay, so I'm just standing in the shower and thinking about life and and I don't know why in this particular shower I was like, why don't I know how to read tarot off the book? But I was really just thinking about it and ruminating it. And literally as channeled messages go, it was the Moldavite is the tower and the tower is Moldavite. And I was like, oh, wow. Holy crap. Correct. and I thought to myself, okay, yes. The tower archetype is very energetically aligned to Moldavite. I was like, well, what else is similar? And there were a couple that came right away. And I was like, oh, this is good. This is really good. And so I just put it in my back pocket. Mommy, it's okay. I told everybody this was going to happen. Mommy, there's seats. Have a seat.
Come over here.
This is my mom.
And her son.
Hi, Mom. That's it. Okay. So you can sit in the pink
There's
chair.
another chair too.
There's another chair
Two
here.
here.
You can sit next to each other or not. It's fine.
That's fine.
So I was like, wait, that looks like people look. I was like, I see somebody.
Yeah.
Don't worry, my mom just walked in, so you're not. Don't worry.
The pushy chair right next to you.
So I put it in my back pocket. Now I don't know if any of you ever read the book Big Magic by Liz Gilbert. But that's a great book. And I don't know if you know who Liz Gilbert is, but she wrote Eat, Pray, Love. And she was famously portrayed by Julia Roberts. And in that book, she talks about the muse, or the universe, giving these ideas out. Like, they're not of you, they're sort of through you, and you get these ideas. But the problem is you're not the only one that gets the idea, because the muse needs to make sure that the idea is birthed. So the muse hedges its bets and passes the idea onto a couple of people. And so I was like, this is good, but this has to be acted upon. And I really don't know. It wasn't very much time at all before you walked into the shop.
Right. Because you were ready. I mean, it was like, oh, here we go. And what happened, can I tell the next part?
Tell it. Go. I don't even know what the next part is. It feels like a fever.
Because, you know, we're talking about signs, and we're talking about things that are leading us. You know, sometimes the universe just gives these little subtle things that push us. And the business card is one thing. The owls, you know, that's one thing. When we sit down and we have the coffee, she's telling me about Moldavite and the tower. She's telling me that chrysocolla is paired with the Empress, and she's like describing what she's envisioning. And while we're talking, it just comes up.
You say,
Yeah.
tell me about like your life or something. And I'm a Cap rising, so I don't like, I'm not even like, hi, how are you? I'm like, like, it's like talking about, anyway. So Amalia asked like a very human question to somebody that acts like a robot a lot of the time.
And it comes up, and you say something along the lines of, oh, well, there were a lot of musicians in my house growing up, so it was a lot of fun in my house. And I go, oh, my parents are musicians. She goes, what are their names? She sends my name. My mom's over there too. Both moms are here today. I said, Joan Drews and Billy Drews. She sends the text. Within 5 minutes, we get a black and white photo of my uncle, who's also a musician, in their band.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
When we talk about signs and we talk about coincidences, it's almost like we are actually being led here.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
It's like, it doesn't make any sense that should
Right.
happen in an island with more population than most states in the middle of this country. You know what I mean? So we got to working, and I think at some point Amalia turns pale when she realized that there were 78 cards that completely had to be like reimagined and redone. And we both sort of looked at each other like, okay, I guess we're going to start this. And that is why I didn't say anything for 2 years. Because not that I didn't have faith in the project, and I never even really cared if we did, honestly, in the beginning.
I never even doubted it. It was just
So you didn't doubt it? I was just sort of like coming along on like the experience of something new and fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Which, yeah, I mean, doing a tarot deck is a pretty big feat to take on. So, yeah, getting excited about it is a really good place. And what we did is we would sit together in her kitchen, and we would talk, and I would sketch, and she would give me ideas, and we would go back.
I'd be running back and forth, grabbing decks, bringing. How about this one? How about this one? Like,
yeah, she'd go grab a crystal upstairs. How about this crystal? And, I mean, it was just. It just felt like it flowed really well.
And you know, and it's funny because there were some that came so quickly.
Yeah.
It's almost like they existed before you like pulled it into reality. And then there were some where it was just like temperance,
I pulled it today. I went, no.
See, I'm not the only one that has a problem with that, girl. I'm just saying. You know, it's just, that was a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, I put that Galena version. I couldn't find the Dan Bright version.
Because even though there's 78 cards, there were about, I'd say, and I think I'm being generous, about 30 cards that were just thrown away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where the design wasn't working. In the beginning, it was really flat. In the beginning, when I talked with Dina, I said my intention would be to use the colors of the crystals. But when I did the illustrations, as cool as they looked, they were really, really flat. So the more that I did the project, I found myself trying to draw the textures of the crystals. And I was like, this is taking too long. Why don't I just take photographs? Why don't I take actual pictures of these things and make them look three-dimensional? And that's where I think for me, that's where this project really took off. Was there a moment for you where something just like clicked or shifted?
Well, we got a deadline. I was like, oh my God. Because before we had a deadline, every once in a while, my husband would come down and be like, how's that project doing? I'm like,
Well, Dina.
I'm like, stop talking about it.
Dina, talking about signs, talk about the signs that you got from your publisher.
Oh, good question. Good question, Katie.
I'll go over there.
So the question was the signs from the publisher. So this is actually really interesting because there's another sign in something that you just said that I'm going to bring it back. So my very first tarot deck that I got in 1995 was actually gifted to me by my mother. I don't even know she knows this. And in 1995, I was really into the Neil Gaiman comic, The Sandman. Oh, and I know he's problematic now, but he wasn't in 1995. And that deck was illustrated by Dave McKeon, who was the last illustrator of that last run of Sandman comics.
Which is gorgeous.
Which, by the way, he also, very much like you, photographs mixed media. So it's interesting that you said you took photographs New York mixed media because that was what Dave McKeon's deck was.
Yeah.
Gorgeous deck. Literally was about not just the Sandman, though, it was also about the DC Vertigo comic universe, of which I only knew the Sandman characters. So trying to understand all of these cards with characters I had no idea who they were. But also it was like 1995 and I was in college and the deck was $50, by the way, in 1995. So it was expensive. Do you remember buying that from the comic book store? Yeah. And so I still have it like handwritten loose leaf of people that were in my dorm room that I did readings for. And I'll put photographs, I'll put in my Instagram stories. And that book was written by Rachel Pollack, who is one of our tarot ancestors now, because she's since crossed over. But if you've read Rachel Pollack, you will hear her echo in my book and the way I write about the cards, because that's how much Rachel means to me and how I understand tarot now. But as we were trying to figure out who was going to publish this deck, and because I really, really loved the Sandman, and of course the character Death, because my blonde hair probably masked the fact that I was like a goth kid in the 90s. My very first tattoo, which my mother loves, is, I'm being sarcastic, is an Ankh tramp stamp, which are coming back, by the way. They're back in fashion. So I got an Ankh right in the middle of my back that my mom was very happy about. She still loves all my tattoos. For the character Death. So now like all these like weird things are happening where I'm like, I have this one publisher, I want to work with them, and then I look and the imprint is the Ankh. That they also publish, by the way, Rachel Pollack. So again, signs, alignments, and I don't know if I told you this, but I was on a podcast that actually released today with Samantha Fay, who wrote Heavenly Alliance over there, also a Wiser author, and she's like, they They were gonna do my oracle deck based on crystals, but it got bumped because of your deck.
Oh my God.
She wasn't like mad about it. She was like, "Isn't that funny?" I'm like, "That? Oh." I'm like, "I guess sorry, I didn't know." And it was so funny because when I talked to the sales rep, and I was like, "Hey, I got this thing." She's like, "Sent it over." She goes, "But I think we already picked something up."
There you go. And there were actually several decks that came out when we were working on this.
Yeah.
Because, we came up with it first. But we took our time and we really took our patience to really understand and really create what we wanted to.
Yeah, one came out while we were in the process.
I think two came out.
Really?
Yes, but they were very simple designs and they were done quickly. You can tell how quickly they were done. So
Like line art.
Yeah, just simple line art, simple shapes.
No shade to line art, by the way. I'm a line art queen.
But if we're going to compete with the decks that are combinations of tarot and crystal together, I think that ours really stands out.
Yeah. And I, as somebody that, like, for me, crystals were always, like, my first love. My first metaphysical love was crystals. So the correspondences had to be really, like, perfect, in my opinion, like, as close as I can get them. But also, I'm a crystal teacher, so I didn't want it to be, I didn't want anybody to be like, "Whoa, I know the lovers, it's going to be rose quartz."
Right, right. Which I suggested. And you were like, no. We have a different place for rose quartz.
Yeah.
Perfect place.
Yeah, but the perfect place. So, yeah, it's been a wild experience. How do you feel with the deck now being in the world?
It's still settling in. It's settling in. I went to Target and there's Barnes and Noble that's like right nearby, and I was like, maybe they put it out. I don't know. And I walked in and everybody's getting back from Easter, so it wasn't out on the shelves. But it is kind of a interesting feeling to have something with your name on it.
Yeah.
And to have such pride in work that you put a lot of effort in and that other people get to enjoy. So yeah, and what I learned in school is that's the difference between like a fine artist and somebody who's an illustrator, is that you can bring your art to more people. That's the difference between a fine artist and an illustrator. So I feel like, I went to school for illustration. So I feel like this is kind of, it's the first piece for a new journey. So I'm really grateful that we got to have this experience.
I am too.
We were going to self-publish in the beginning.
Yeah.
We were fully ready to go on that journey, which is way harder than having, wiser market and be able to spread this all over the nation. So, but I had a feeling.
Did you?
I did. I spent the entire time with the intention that this is going out there. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you were focused. I was like, I don't know. Danielle and I were at a conference that unfortunately isn't running right now, called the Reader Studio. I had just come back from Paris with my mom and my daughter for her 16th birthday, and so Danielle went the day before. I did, because I was still on a plane flying back, and I also hate conferences. So I hate them so much. I just hate being in a room. It's like it's just like so claustrophobic. Plus you have to sit down for like an extended period of time, and if you know me, do I sit down that long? No. So Danielle goes, and this is what I love about Danielle, because Danielle and I are opposite in the fact that she will go into her and be like, "Hi, I'm Danielle. Hi, I'm Danielle. Hi, I'm Danielle," and know everybody. So when I got there, she's like, "This is where we're sitting. This is who you're with. This is and so I like knew everybody. I was like, "Oh, thank God," because I also don't like walking into rooms that I can't see into. Like I won't go into a restaurant if I can't see in. Howie has to go in first. I don't even know if he like knows this yet, but like I don't like, it's very uncomfortable for me. And so we get to this conference and we're just like, there's all these like people that like they're on the shelves and they're like sitting at the table like this is this one, this is one. I'm like, oh, we like sell all their stuff. And then I was like, they're just human beings with the same problems as us. And then there was a round table about like, so you want to publish your deck, and that's when I was like, Danielle, I need to tell you something.
And I go, what do you mean? And she's like, yeah, no, it's already like developed. I'm like,
I'm like, we got like 30, 40 cards.
But that made it real. When you finally told me, it made it real.
Yeah, it did.
And the accountability that you're like, oh, now I have to do this.
Yeah. And we very quickly from that moment had a deadline. But the lady that was leading that round table, I feel bad because she's like, oh, send it to me. I'm like, no. That's okay. But she said, Joe, she said, stop working on it.
Oh.
She's like, stop. Shop it, because if the publishers want to change anything, you might have gone too far, and it'll be really annoying to claw it back.
Yes.
More for Amalia.
Yes.
Yes.
Instagram has a message.
Yes, Instagram.
They want to know, Amalia, how did you end up getting all the imagery so dimensional without it taking a decade?
Yeah, no, it did. Yeah. So the process that I use is called what I call digital collage. And so the process is like, I'll see like a crystal, I'll take like close-ups of it, or I'll take like scans of it. Sometimes I'll get them online or like free stock images. And basically like I cut them out and I make them look in like figures or hands. Most of the hands you see in my deck are my hands. And then it's just lots and lots of layering of colors and crystals on top of it to make it look three-dimensional. This is a really great question because I was thinking about it recently. Basically my task was to take something three-dimensional, make it two-dimensional, and then make it look three-dimensional again. And so knowing where to put the highlights, where to put the shadows to make it look like it's round is just years and years of working on my craft and my skills. Yeah.
That's a great question. Yeah. And I also think, you know, a lot of times in like the creative arts, especially growing up around music and art, people are like, what are you doing that for?
Right.
That's not a worthwhile pursuit. You're not going to make any money doing that. That's not worthwhile. Why are you doing that? And there's purpose in honing your craft.
Yeah, great purpose.
It's important. And worthwhile. And it's, especially now, like, you know, there are so many kids that are trying to reverse engineer their lives and look at like, well, I want to make this much money because that is quote unquote happiness, and I'm going to reverse engineer back instead of saying like, what's going to bring me satisfaction, and then trusting the universe to give you these signs and give you these inspirations to lead you to a point of like meaning. And then like, you know, I don't know, it's just so important because I think a lot of people will be like, well, that's a useless degree. Well, it's not.
Right.
Whatsoever.
And it's even if, you know, this wasn't published, like, it's still something that brings me joy. And I feel like we need to do a little bit more research on the hands. Because the hands are connected to every single organ, every part of your body. And so when you're working with your hands, you're actually healing and you're cleansing and you're connecting with your entire self. And I think that's what we don't realize. We're just like, oh, you're not making money off of that? Why are you doing that? Why are you wasting your time? Right. And I'm like, no, I want to spend my time crocheting and drawing and creating a tarot deck. So yeah, I'm glad you brought that up too.
Yeah, it's important. And I think it's important to give people permission over and over again to live their lives in this way. If it's not art, whatever it is that lights you up, it doesn't have to have monetary purpose or value. If it's important to you, it's valuable.
Yeah. And I'm also seeing more coincidences because my mom was the first person to get my deck as well.
Oh.
And we both have creative parents. We grew up in a creative home, and we can, you know, attribute our childhood and our upbringing to being where we are
being
today.
right. We're creatives. All right, Katie has another question.
Okay, I have two. If you both had to pick a top card from the deck, which one would it be and why? And then, Amalia, what is your favorite stone? Because now that you've learned about them.
They both answer that one.
Go ahead. I don't know if I could choose. They're like my children.
Well, my favorite stone, I'll do the favorite stone one first, are the rainbow ones, the ones that like shimmer and change. And you know what? I'm going to do like a kind of a trick one. I'm going to say the abalone shell. Abalone, I always say
Abalone.
Abalone. And it's not a crystal. But Dina was so flexible with the color scheme of the cards. And she's like, you know what, Amalia, you really want that card in there? We'll make it work. So I appreciate that. But that, I would say any of those cards that have a lot of rainbows in them is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, there were some. I released a reel this morning that has like Amalia's earlier sketches and my earlier list, and you're going to see that there are stones on those lists that didn't make it into the deck because for whatever reason they weren't working in the color palette. They weren't working. They were too clear. There wasn't enough texture for Amalia to draw from, and so we really she was like, this is tough, and I was like, don't worry about it. It's okay.
Yeah, there were a couple like the diamond where I was like, Dina, please don't make me do
Clear
this.
calcite.
Yeah.
It was just so clear.
But it's a great challenge. And you know what, Dina? You met me. I went to Dina and said, could we do a color scheme for each suit? And we already have two parameters. We have the parameter of combining crystals and tarot into one. That's already a really big feat. So for me to go to Dina and go, can we make a color scheme? You can only pick reds, you can only pick greens, you can only pick blues.
It's all well fine and good until you get to the red and orange.
I know.
Those are the orange. But what's your favorite card of the deck?
I mean, it has to be the Empress. It has to be. And we agreed when we sat down that we wanted the deck to be unisex. We wanted it to be so whoever got it wouldn't feel ostracized. They would feel welcome. They just gotta love tarot and gotta love crystals. That's it. And so the way that we did that was we said, why don't we just use hands? Because we all have hands. We don't know if they're male or they're female. But
The Empress.
we had to give a little extra love to femininity and maternity and all that good energy, and so that I probably spent the most amount of time on her.
And her, the texture of the colors.
Yeah.
Of Chrysocolla in there, you really got the petroidal and the hair. I mean, yeah.
So I love that one. What is your favorite?
Oh my god.
Hope I didn't take yours. I'm sorry.
No, you didn't. I wasn't going to say that. It's so interesting. I really love. I really want to say like the suit of cups, but I know I can't.
The whole
suit of cups is like outrageous to me. It's interesting because I think it's a stone. Because like your answer to the question of like what's your favorite stone, you said anything with rainbows. Same. When Danielle and I are going to the Tucson Gem Show and we have to buy things that the light doesn't shine through, I'm like, I'm like, I want to see rainbows. I want to see light coming through it. I want to see action. Like or even if the light isn't coming through, but you got like labradorite or tiger's eye, you got chatoyancy. Give me some movement. Give me some light. Don't make me pick angel light. You know, and I love the energy of it, but like you look at it, you're like, okay. It's like institutional baby blue, you know? So for as much as I say I'm a rainbow flash type of girl, that rhodochrosite card, that 5 of cups,
it's on the back.
It's just
the pink one.
Yeah.
You made me actually, with the composition of that card, you made me actually like rhodochrosite.
Great.
And maybe because rhodochrosite does help us energetically process difficult emotions and traumas, it's sort of been one of those crystals that I sort of kept at like a locked elbow. Like, you could be over there, friends. But that card just made me absolutely love it so much. But then I gotta say, the Knight of Pentacles with that moss agate.
I know. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that was my favorite crystal too.
He's gorgeous.
Maybe if he finds it, he can bring it out. Can you find the green horse? Okay.
Yeah.
And it's, I love that one. Anything that had texture, like if we, like obsidian can sometimes be really, really smooth, really, really flat. That's why in the background of that card you see a lot of texture, because I try to use raw pictures for that one. But it's the ones that had a lot of texture that was really fun to play with, and the moss agate, that was great.
Gorgeous.
Because it's so earthy that if you look at moss agate, it just has these, it looks like moss. It's the reason why it's called that. So.
Yeah.
But what about the ammonite? What card was the ammonite?
Wheel of Fortune.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
That's a gorgeous card.
And that one
has a lot of color.
It just is what it is. Yeah. I wasn't like, let me add all these illustrations on top of it. Let me make it into something else. It was just the wheel.
Question.
So it's not a question, it's more of a compliment. But the fact that you were able to soften the Three of Swords really changed my perspective on the card. So good with the Apache tears. Even the artwork softened the blow.
Oh, I love that. That's excellent feedback.
I'm curious if you had this.
Oh, you did? Sorry, I'm sorry. Thanks, sweetie. So there it is.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just, and the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight.
Here you go, sweetie.
And so the art and the texture of the moss really lends to the energy of that knight being the slowest knight.
Yeah,
I
still.
was just curious if you had the same sense of sort of divine channeling when you wrote the book.
Yes.
When you did the affirmation and the inner reading. Those are so perfect.
Thank you.
And they're so easy to read.
Thank you. Yeah. At first, before we had a deadline, what I would do is I'd shuffle my tarot deck, and because I did not have this tarot deck, I work with the Rider-Smith-Waite, which is the green. I don't think we have any.
We do, it's just you can't see
You
it.
can't see it. But I use the little one in a tin because I have child-sized hands. And I can't really shuffle big cards. And what I would do is I would shuffle my tarot deck, and whatever card would come out, I'd sit with it, and I'd write that card. So I'm like, okay. Because to write it in a row, I was like, this is going to, like, it just would, because then you know, like, this many more cards, this many more cards. So if I felt like if I took it out of order, I wouldn't really know how much more I needed to go. So it would like soften like the, I have this much time left. Everything I make a game.
Yeah.
I gotta make a game. And so I would sit with it and just, you know, there were some stories that were from my past. There were some stories that were happening as I was writing them, just per chance. But I would, the process was also lots of reading. Rachel Pollack's 78 Degrees of Wisdom, Rachel Pollack's Tarot Wisdom, the Blue Book, and I'm gonna Jodorowsky, The Way of Tarot, would be the three that I would read. And then I also have this like gigantic textbook of like a bazillion tarot books, and I'd pull that out and I'd write like different keywords. Then I'd read Robert Simmons, he's behind me. I'd read Judy Hall. I'd read Athena Paracas, Sage Goddess. I would read, and I would like, and everybody channels the crystals a little bit different. And then I just like sit with all this information, and I just like would just sort of see how it would go.
I'm glad to know that, you know, because as an artist, there's always research. You always start with research before you do anything. And so, it's, sometimes we think, oh, when you create, it's just that. No, you gotta read your books. You gotta go online. You gotta go talk to people before you start a big project like this.
Yeah, and it's interesting because
And
I had some of the harder cards for me to write were the ace cards, because ace cards are about the energy before the energy energizes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So divine inspiration, you have the idea, technically you're already past the ace.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like that feeling in the background. I was like, how do you write about this? So those were a little rough.
Maybe think of like when you were born.
Yeah,
So,
but
like go back to that.
Yeah, it was a rough one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Do we have more questions? I like the questions.
Yes, Danny has a question.
So I'm just curious to hear from both of you because clearly I'm biased and I was already predetermined to be your biggest cheerleader. But no, and really, like when I read the book, I hear Dina's voice in my head. But how did both of you feel once it was released into the world and they started sending it to all different people and people that you don't know started using your deck and like experiencing it in the wild? What was your biggest surprise or biggest revelation?
Yeah.
I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, like they're gonna, you know, they're gonna be like, why'd you pick this stone? Why'd you do it this way? Just. Yeah, which, listen, and again, like, I'm sure, and that, like, even, like, in hindsight, like, I could see, like, some cards, I was like, they're beautiful, like, there's one card where I was like, I couldn't, like, that crystal, it should have been a little different, but I'm not gonna say what it is. You're like, but scared, scared, until people were like, we really like it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay.
Yeah, you just hope that people enjoy it and they get it, you know, and they're not trying to fight what we tried to create, you know. So yeah, I'd say it's a mix of excitement and fear.
Yeah, I was scared. I mean, once when I got the copy. By the way, I got the copy and I held on to it for about like a week and didn't open it. And I told Dana, Dana's like, did you open it? I'm like, no. She's like, how did you not open it?
It's scary.
I did the same
thing, Dina.
I'm like, no.
I did the same thing, Dina. I couldn't open it.
I didn't open it. I brought it literally, I got it maybe like 2 days before Christmas. And I was busy doing Christmas things. And then we went to Puerto Rico on Christmas. So then I took it and my stepdaughter's back because she was in Puerto Rico. My son's over there. He was in Puerto Rico. Right, Joel? and so I just put it in my carry-on and brought it to Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm. I love that shot of you on the beach looking
at
him.
Yeah. That was the moment I opened it. I opened it on the beach on New Year's Day.
Wow.
Because I was like, I'm going to open it today. And I was like, and there was a day that I was going to open it, and then there were like all these people in the pool, like, and it was just like too loud. I was like, never mind. It's like annoying. And then like we always like had stuff to do. And then so it wasn't literally until New Year's Day. I was like, oh, I might as well just like it's a new year.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a couple.
Yeah.
One is going back to when you were creating the deck. Would you ever just sit with a crystal for your information and like tune that? How are you different from when you began than now? And then are you going to make an oracle deck now or another deck?
Okay.
Oh no.
So, okay, so the first question about would I just sit with a crystal, a lot of these stones I have a deep relationship with already because we've been working in crystals, and Danielle and I go to the Tucson Gem Show, we go to the Denver Gem Show, we're hand selecting all these crystals, we're talking with the miners, and so we've been so immersed in the crystal world, like I felt like I sort of knew them. What's interesting is there is a crystal in the deck that I had never experienced in person until this January, and that's alexandrite, because alexandrite is one of the most expensive crystals. It is very hard to get access to. She is the Queen of Swords, which I consider to be my card. She is the cover, which and we didn't have any. Oh. You have it. We didn't have, like Amalia didn't design the box. She had input to the box. You designed the inside.
Yeah, right. I ended up weirdly designing the inside.
Because you're like, it's not right. They were so lovely.
They were very lovely about it, yes.
But I also think because you like met the timelines, so they were like, if you don't make the productions, then you're getting bumped. But
I'll tell that story next.
But we didn't pick what card was going to be on the cover.
No.
Okay. when I saw that they picked this card, it was another universe wink, because in the Thoth deck, the Queen of Swords governs 21 degrees of Virgo or 20 degrees of Virgo to 20 degrees of Libra. It's Earth of Air, or it's Earth of Air, and that's mine and Danielle's birth card, because we have the same birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and year, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, when I saw that on the cover, I was like, holy cow, but I had never, ever interacted with Alexandra. It's so expensive. And it's rare, and you're just like not getting it. So that was question number 1. Question number 2 was...
How have you changed from the beginning to now?
Like as people?
Like, maybe, I don't know. Just like
I mean,
the
I
journey, I think, of like making
for
the whole...
me, like, I feel... First of all, now I could read tarot off book.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
You know, the whole thing was like, how do I get off book?
That was the goal all along.
I'm now off book. Is the point. Except maybe the 3 of Wands, which I think is Wolfenite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that girl that well. What about you?
I would say that I know a little bit more about the publishing world, you know, which is when you get your toe in there, it's nice, because when you're an illustrator that hasn't been invited to get published or be in there, it could be discouraging, you know, like it can be difficult to have a lot of rejections. So I feel more confident in myself now. I feel like I'm ready to start a next project or start something, or if I have something to give to a publishing company, I'm going to feel way more confident. And something that really changed from the beginning is we didn't have a title.
Yeah, we did not.
We didn't have a title the entire time. And
They gave us a title.
yeah. And that's why, maybe Polly can help us out again, but that's why I ended up designing the inside of it, because we needed keys somewhere.
You're like, it's not a key.
And I said to them, we gotta have keys somewhere. So Paul, you wanna hold it up so everybody can see?
Yeah. On the inside.
Yeah.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Thank
I
you.
love your chain. Yeah, it just, what's interesting about this is that typically the way decks usually work is the author who has like the idea pitches the publishing house, and the publishing house will accept it and then give you illustrators. I'll be like, these are the illustrators that we think will match this concept. And a lot of them are not in America. A lot of them are overseas. And, you know, so basically the author creator will feed concepts. It's very rare to come in on a project and already have the illustrator. Too bad, so sad.
Yeah. And they were totally fine with it, because we were so prepared. We were we had so much ready for them that they were like, "Oh, you guys are fine.
Yeah.
You keep doing what you want, and let us know when you're."
And we'll give you a deadline.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was excellent.
Oh, thank you.
Because it was excellent.
Well,
It
thank
wouldn't if it weren't excellent.
Thank you.
You have more
So
questions?
then the last one was, are you going to do an oracle deck now or another deck? Pivot on that. Other people are saying, we want an oracle deck, we want a mini travel deck, give us all these things.
I would love a mini if they would publish a mini, because, you know, as I said, I have small
Mini
hands.
hands.
I love anything in a 10. I mean, I already have the ideas ready, so.
Yeah, I think that's
Oh my God, I was like, please. Can I rest? I'm a Cap Rising. No.
I would want to see where this deck goes, see how it does before we step into another project. But if we're getting a lot of feedback, if you guys want it, we will provide. So.
They're saying, give me.
Any questions in the room? Yeah. Yes.
So was there any point that when you submitted your deck in, that they were like, I don't know about this, or I don't know?
Did you get? I didn't get anything.
Like for the artwork, or, you know, like this is too similar maybe to something else, or just as an example.
When you submit, I think we only gave like 3 images.
Oh,
and
okay.
we had, like you said, like
Yeah.
30 so already done.
Okay.
And so they're only getting a very small view of what the deck is going to look like. And like I said, we used hands in order to make the deck unisex. So I'm in a meeting. We're going back and forth. Her name is Catherine Peck, Sky Peck, something like that. She works for Weiser, Red Wheel Weiser. And we're talking, and she says, I don't know about the hands. Oh, God. And I just tell her, like, oh, you just got to see the rest of the deck. Like, don't worry. Like, I fixed what she said, and, I was flexible. But when it came out, she didn't say anything because she understood the idea a little bit better. So not too many, not too much feedback on the images, which was nice. Yeah, they
So
kind of
were
let
you
us go.
into tarot before, Amalia? I'm just curious.
Yes, I was.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
mentioned, this was my high school year, my senior year of high school, and it was a going away present to go to college. Another similarity. It's weird. And
Read the people in the dorm and make friends.
exactly that's exactly it. I kid you not.
That is.
Sitting in the dorm room, and the girl next to me is going, "Are you sure?
Like, yeah.
Are you sure that tower card is for me? Because that was very, if anyone knows the tower
Girl,
card.
you're a mess.
Yes, yeah, you're a mess. But sorry, what was I forgot what the question.
The question
I was just asking if you were into tarot before, or this was just a new, like, okay, well, I've done children's book, but I've never done tarot or anything similar to that, because it's a lot.
It is. It's a lot of cards to memorize, and so I was reading out of the book throughout my entire college experience. Everybody wanted a reading, and I was like, I'm just going to read it.
Page 42.
Yeah. So I'm like, and what I would say is, you figure it out. I'm giving you that, and now you figure. And I would get calls of, oh my God, it came true, and I figured it out. But what was really nice is I ended up going to New Mexico, and there's this woman there. Her name is Bernadette Torres, and she calls herself the Meadow Sin Woman.
Aw.
And she's so brilliant human being. And she and I got to sit down, and she taught me a little bit about tarot and how to listen to it intuitively. Yeah, because we do. There's structures to the cards that you can't get away from, but she was trying to teach me about how to listen to your heart when you're reading the cards. That's different than reading out of the book.
Yeah.
So it's a journey. I'm still learning all the time.
Yeah.
You're never done knowing.
No, you never.
No.
I don't know anyone
At
who
all.
thinks they know everything about that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Right.
Any other questions? Any questions on Instagram?
Yeah. Hi.
Well, first of all, you bring up the tower, and as I say, I love the fact that it's Moldavite. It is Moldavite, right?
Moldavite, yeah.
I think that's so perfect. But also my question, back when you were saying a while ago, and you kind of started answering it, Dina.
Oh.
I wanted to ask, not what your least favorite card is, but what was the hardest card to do? Like, which one did you both collaboratively think, like, how the hell do we make this crystal into a card?
Well, they got kicked out.
Yeah.
The ones that were I think too difficult, that didn't have enough texture for Amalia to grasp, like clear calcite, like danbrite, like I think yellow sapphire was the King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles became gold, which is a much better fit anyway.
Mm-hmm.
They just got popped.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Yeah, when something doesn't work, just
It's gotta move.
move on.
And that's the thing also about in the creative process, to not like close your fist around it too tight.
Yeah.
You can't, because you need to be able to be open to change, especially when you're collaborating with somebody else, and you have to have trust that, what Amalia was seeing was then, hey, I can't, it's just not working. I could try, but it's really. I'm like, don't worry. Let's sit back. Let's come back and like let's see what. Because I would take it as a sign that it just wasn't the fit.
Right.
You know, if we had to work too hard at it, that it wasn't, you know, the energy wasn't sort of where it needed to be.
Right. Like I mentioned earlier, there were about at least 30 cards that were just thrown out. And it requires flexibility of, yes, I spent my time on this, but I have to let it go.
Yeah.
That's the Seven of Pentacles, isn't it? Put a lot of work into this, but there's something, you know.
Sometimes you just have to, you know, gotta keep, you can't get upset about, like, you know, you spend your time and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but you just have to keep moving towards what's working and realize that like, it still wasn't wasted effort because you're practicing the layering of the textures and it's informing the other cards as you're working, you know, so it's okay.
Yeah. But it was such a flow, it's hard to answer that question, you know.
You have a question, Joe?
I don't know if it's a question, but listening to you guys speaking about it, you know how I feel about your deck. It's like, and I'm getting goosebumps, it feels different. And I'm not a pro by any stretch of imagination, as my witchy Wednesdays know. But listening to you both speaking, the difference with your deck is that you didn't just create it, you felt it.
Yeah.
That's what I think is what I'm feeling from it, which is like, it's all starting to make sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she is an honest deck, let me tell you. Right? She does not pull punches. She's like sort of nice, but she's honest. Like, even in like my card pulls of the day, which I don't even think I put today's up, which is so aggravating. I think I filmed it and I never put it up. That's okay, I'll put it up later.
That's okay.
Literally, like the amount of times justice has come up over the past couple of months. I'm like, my God. She shows up. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other questions?
What, your first place, #1 on Amazon today?
That's wild.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Let's give them up. You have one.
I was gonna say, would you do a pull for the collective? before you-
Sure. I'll pull.
Polly.
Wait, you gotta give us one. We'll get you shuffle.
Okay.
Paulie's.
Yeah.
And then,
We'll have Polly
and then
pick it.
Paulie's okay. No, well, you're gonna pull and I'm gonna pull. And we're gonna do two.
Oh, great. Okay, great.
We get to tell a story. Let's see what we got.
Oh, shucks. Don't look at this.
Finally, somebody that
Don't look at this as she bridges the entire thing.
My mom was.
Oh, look at! I just really.
Where'd you get that?
In the front.
Oh, I'm taking Polly's over here.
Didn't
Can
you
you believe
know?
that I didn't bring my own deck today? I totally left it at home. I'm like, oh my God. What? That's why I can't have nice things. Ugh, not even prepared.
Oh, I have the Seven of Swords, and it's paired with turquoise.
Okay, hold. We're gonna make a story. Fun fact. I wrote the Seven of Swords.
Oh, I love that you got that.
About our competitor. Okay, I got the Three of Swords Apache here.
Which we brought up.
Okay. Seven of Swords and Three of Swords are challenging cards that sometimes we don't prefer to see in a reading, right? Like
Swords are hard.
Swords are tough.
Yeah.
However, swords are just information, right? And we put the meaning on it. Like, we get to decide. So, but what I would say about the juxtaposition of the Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords, to me, suggests that I feel that a lot of us in this particular point in time have built identities for ourselves. And it feels like that, like this almost like like from the global perspective, that we have built identities, almost like my mother and I talk about this a lot, like the myth of our creation, the myth of how we interact as a society. And there's some reckoning when the myth and the structure of that starts to dissolve, when you start to see that maybe what you thought was happening. Like the Seven of Swords in the Rider-Smith Waite is like a guy trying to make off with something. And the way I took it with being paired with turquoise is about standing in your truth and authenticity. But pairing it with the three, I'm thinking about like the collective story that we're building, the story of we tell ourselves, because swords are ideas, of who we are, and then recognizing that it's not really our truth or the truth, and then how that feels, the betrayal of having to sort of move forward, knowing that what you thought you were, you're not. And then how do you reconcile that? Well, you reconcile that with knowing yourself and living in authenticity and telling yourself the truth and grounding yourself with Apache Tear and using turquoise is not only a stone of the throat and of speaking and communication, but it's also, and the reason why I paired it with the 7 is it's also with indigenous people, especially of North America, a stone of protection as well. So you need protection to tell truth, because you need to feel secure in yourself to tell truth. And so that's what I would say this message is. And if you pair this with current events, I think this is pretty good. And what do you have?
Well, I just see all the designs that I did. It's really hard for me to look at these and not go, oh, there's 5,000 other positions that I made these swords before I chose this one. But I'm really resonating with the 3 of Swords because sometimes, I think immediately heartache. And I'm thinking right now, heartache, this is a joyful moment, this is beautiful, but maybe the heartache is like, the work is done.
Yeah, bittersweet.
Yeah. It's like, we did it, it's sad that our baby's leaving the nest and going into other people's homes, and sometimes the heartbreak is a good thing. It's showing growth and evolution, so that's beautiful.
Treats. They're amazing. We did not eat any of them yet. But wait, so the baker is here. My question is, are the cupcakes also vegan and gluten-free?
Gluten-free, not vegan. The only ones that are vegan is the white ones, the lychee, and they're gluten-free as well.
Okay.
Everything's gluten-free though. But the lychee and
lemon.
Lychee and jasmine are vegan and gluten-free.
Okay.
And then the sugar cookies, the cupcakes are vanilla with vanilla, and then the yellow ones are lemon.
Okay. Thank you. So, if you don't have a deck, we can sign them for you. You can buy them. If you have only one, you should have 2. Give them as gifts. Everybody loves them. And
Dina,
yeah.
one last thing.
Oh, one last thing.
What Ali was trying to tell you is talk about synchronicities.
The 7 of Swords was on the bottom of your deck.
Yes.
When you lift it up.
When you
so
you had the 3 of Swords, you had the 7 on the bottom.
I saw it.
Okay.
I'm not a good mimer.
Thank you guys. I'm going to ask you, since you have a lot of people standing, if we could put some chairs away, so we have some room to
mingle.
To mingle and talk together. Couple of things. If you don't know, if you've never been to Amityville Apothecary before, we have Witchy Wednesday, the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month, where we teach tarot and community. Danielle, Vinny, and I, as well as so many people in this room, just hang out. It's like $15. We have so much fun. That's another way that I've gotten off the book.
It is this Wednesday.
What?
It's this Wednesday.
It's this Wednesday if anybody wants to come. The other thing is we do have Alchemy Academy coming up May 2nd and 3rd. It is our flagship conference. We have some flyers back there. We're running a special today. We have unbelievable, everybody's published that's speaking. I am speaking. I need to get my talk done before I go to Italy with my mother. But we have Chris Ann, we have Judica, we have like so many people that are going to be there. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, please do so. And thank you guys so much for coming.
I don't know.